Hello, ladies and gentlemen of SeemsGoodMagic.com. This is Travis Simulant Sowers, and I have done precisely one iteration of the legendary cube this go-round, but since Oath is kind of disappearing and Shadows is right around the horizon, I thought maybe we'll get one of these in and just try to have some fun this week, and then we'll get back to a little more serious business next week. I do intend to focus primarily on sealed when Shadows is out again, at least for the first couple videos, and then we'll get to some drafts later. I'm grinding the PPTQ circuit on Magic Online, so sealed is a very relevant format for me, and it kind of doesn't seem like enough people are doing them, to be honest. Like, it's hard to go find a good sealed video, so that's what I'm looking to provide. But this week we're just going to have some fun with the draft. So buckle in, let's draft mana fixing, big mana, and terrible bad finishers. And we'll fire this up right as soon as the event starts. And here we go. Oh god, I saw the Crush of Tentacles and was like, okay, we're snap picking that because that's definitely what you want. And then I realized that this is not, we're not doing Oath anymore. So there's Tuk Tuk. We could have some fun with that. But really what you want to do, at least from my remembering, is grab mana rocks. Grab mana rocks, grab more dual lands than you think you could possibly ever use, and then ramp into the absurd stuff. There's a cat here, and trust me, I see it. But I don't think that's what's on the agenda. I mean, Yawgmoth's agenda could be interesting, but... And what does this do? Flying, when it enters the battlefield, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's cute. There's going to be some interactions. There's probably an elf deck if they bothered to put her in there. Kakusho is an amazing finisher. But, like, the biggest thing I've seen when drafting this cube is that it's really hard to cast all your spells, and all of the decks are kind of 5-color nonsense. That means Felwar Stone is essentially a 2-mana rock that just casts anything. Like, going along with my take the good fixing stuff, you might think I would go for the Pilgrim's Eye. Well, probably would, but I have a weakness for Mimic Vat. Now, stuff has to happen for it to be good. Things have to die. You have to get them back. I can't take the Soul Hoarder. For those of you who watched on stream, this is one of my more famous punts, killing myself with a Kothafit Soul Hoarder when I had Lethal on board. Still pretty fun. Like, argument is I could take the Temple Garden, which is a green dual, which makes it a little worse. I could take the Pilgrim's Eye, which is probably what I should do. Or I could take the Mimic Vat. Mimic Vat's so much fun. It's so much fun. But yeah, if we're going to draft a competitive deck, I probably just have to take the Pilgrim's Eye. And, like, you pick the fixing until there isn't any, and then you take whatever's left over and you can win a game with that. By win a game, I mean win a draft. Hopefully. I suppose we'll find out. There's a lot of interactions in here, and I'm probably missing half of them. But I wouldn't let that stop you from jumping in and playing some cards. Alright, so we've got a Dragon Spear Shaman, or Dragon Speaker Shaman. That sounds fun. Mirari, that sounds fun. Smother. Smother is actually pretty good. And that there are things you want to kill. This doesn't kill all things. It's kind of hard not to just take the Moss Diamond. It's not the best diamond. And diamonds aren't a man's best friend. But I guess we could take this and see if we will that Mesa Enchantress and do something fun. But I really feel like you can't go wrong just taking all of the mana rocks you can and then dealing with the finishers later. Let's see. We've got Heliod. We've got a Temple. I don't mind Temples. We've got a Repeal. I like Repeal. That goes in the Enchantress deck. What does this do? Every activated ability that isn't a mana ability, you can copy it. Meh. Like, she gets a little less good if you're doing shenanigans with a million colors. A legendary spell. Presumably that means creature too. Like, I'm tempted to take Burn Away here. You can ramp into it and it kills just about everything. It does not kill Heliod because he is not destructible. He is specifically indestructible. Like, I could also take Temple of Triumph and be relatively happy with it, but this is one of the removal spells I think I'm willing to grab. It's still not amazing, but it's doable. It's a thing we can do. Masked Admirers. I've always liked Masked Admirers. I probably shouldn't, but artifact and enchantment removal is pretty key in this cube as well. As again, everybody's playing artifacts and stuff. Maybe they've tried to put aggro in here as a thing. Like, how many creatures with power 2 or less are we going to get? I don't know. We could take Thunderbreak Regent. Like, we have an incentive to be red already and just beat people to death with dragons. There does seem to be a small dragons theme going around. If it's not that, it's Temple of Milady. Which, although interesting, like, you take it here, you get a thing, but we could also consider Rada, but I think I've run out of time and I'm going to take the Thunderbreak Regent, and we'll see where that goes. That can't be a bad thing. Destroy X target non-black creatures, draw X cards. So for 5 mana, I kill 1 thing. Okay. Also got a Deathbringer Agent, which is something cool to ramp into. We've got Fixing. We've got Fixing. We've got Lightning Greaves, which are really damn good. But Dregs of Sorrow kind of seems like what I want if I'm ramping. Maybe we're going to do like a black-red kill all the stuff deck. And I may not have to prioritize Fixing as much as I thought if people are going to start passing around Badlands this late. I mean, I guess it's non-black creatures, but this just seems great to ramp into. Maybe I'm crazy. I could believe that I'm crazy. It actually wouldn't surprise me at all. Blasphemous Act kills everything. It's a 4-mana 4/4. This gives things +2/+2 and hexproof. Like, this kind of actually fits with the mana we're doing. And maybe we get some graveyard shenanigans. Search your library for basic land and put it on the battlefield tapped. Like, that seems good too if we're looking to ramp heavy. Like, maybe, like, the choice here is to go Jund or not. I think I'm actually going to go with the elf. Like, I still feel like ramp is the right way to go. This is a weird start. Savage Lands is probably pretty good for us. What does Vertaloth do? He's an army in a can if you've got a bunch of mana. I mean, it's cool. This draws everybody cards. I think I'm probably just going to take the Savage Land, as it looks like I'm going to be Jund colors, and having a 1 land that fixes everything is great. So Jund ramp is where it's at. All right. We have figured out what we're doing. There are no real bad picks in Cube, but again, I tend to prioritize the fixing a lot and the ramp a lot. We got our agenda back. We've got a dude that if we can find a way to kill him, we get a 5/5. And we've got some other stuff we can't really do a whole lot with. The most inherently powerful card is the Sea Rush of Tentacles. I guess I'll take it. I don't really see us going into blue, but maybe a thing happens. There's a Disciple of the Ring. The Mesa Enchantress did indeed wheel. Baron Moor is good. And that cycling lands are really good. The Kothafid Soul Hoarder is not terrible. I mean, it is a 6-mana flyer that's going to kill somebody. I'd rather have had the Kakusho if we knew we were going that way. But it's between the Moor and the Soul Hoarder. Temple Garden is somewhat relevant in that our fixing is good enough that we could play a white card later, but I'm gonna take the Baron Moor. We'll find other stuff to kill people with, and I just want my mana fixed. That makes me kind of wish I had gone with the white land. Reiterate, what does that do? Copy a spell. Okay, I mean, that's not really what we're doing. Tracker's Instinct, we know. I'll take Dag Hatter here. Not sure if he fits in or not, but maybe if the fixing's just great, he does. This lets you mill dragons and then make a copy of it. I don't think we're interested in that. Take us Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. If things go really nutty and we pick up a couple more, we could do a thing. I had considered taking Rada out of that pack earlier, and I think now that it's here, we're super interested in it. Like, it can give us mana to cast instants, which is pretty neat, and you can just tap it for mana. That's fine. Like, this can deal with things. I guess we took it. I don't know for sure that we play it. I was thinking about it or the cycle land. Like, it's an instant, get rid of a permanent. Then they maybe get something back. So it's a little rough, but we'll see. If we're continuing with the dragon theme, we've got some neat options here. That's kind of neat too. Like, it makes sure they can't kill your stuff, but that's not really what we're doing here. I might just take Vendetta. Like, it just kills a thing. There's also the Hoden. Like, if we take this and pick up another one, that's like a real Honden, not Hoden. Hodor. If you pick up enough of these, it actually does a thing. So it's between Big Dumb Dragon, removal spell, or slow, dirtily win condition. Like, taking this means I kind of want to get the red one as well that, like, pings them, and then, boom, we have a new win condition. We could also just take Wood Elves. I should probably just take the Wood Elves or the Vendetta. I'll take the Vendetta. People are going to cast things. We're going to want to kill it. It sucks that we lose a bunch of life, but whatevs. It needs to die. Splinter Fright might do something fun. Gruul Turf is probably something we're very interested in. What do you do? Oh, God. I remember Vishkal. Tom did this in one of the EDH videos we do, and it was horrible. What does this do? If it's on the battlefield, each player gets a zombie with haste for each creature in their graveyard. When it leaves play, destroy all their tokens. That's too much work. I can just take a Charcoal Diamond here and have more ramp. Like, again, still don't have anything to ramp into. That's okay. Druid Satchel's kind of neat, too. Phoenix could be fun, but I'm, again, just going to keep taking ramp. We'll find the stuff to ramp into. Don't stress. It's going to be fine. Prismatic Lens. It's kind of filter. Sidisi looks like she could be fun. Galvanoth could be fun. Cephid Coliseum, what does that do? You sack it and draw cards and it pings you? Yeah, that's not what we're up to. Guardian Angle Avacyn. I'll go with Sidisi here. Sculpting Steel can be fun. If we'd built around it, March of the Machines could be fun, but Sidisi's a little hard to cast, but I think generally speaking worth it. Thraxamundar is kind of absurd. Yeah. I think we're just going to take that and find a way to get some blue mana in here. Because when Thraxamundar attacks, they sack something. And when they sack something, you put counters on him. Like, he's a big dude that must be answered. And right now our red isn't absurd. And this is only a single blue. With the Pilgrim's Eye, we can already find it. The Felwar Stone turns it on a lot of times too. So all we need is like a couple of blue duels and boom. We're Thraxamundaring. I think that's just what I want. We could maybe do some shenanigans. But I don't think that's going to happen. Pacifism is obviously great too. But alright, Thraxamundar. We're playing not white. Which means we've got to find this. Oh, and there's Stitcher Giraffe. I was going to make a deck for the next EDH video with him too. And that's a Johnny's brother. It's a cat. How am I not taking the cat? I'm going to take the Necropolis. Thraxamundar is good enough that I want to make sure we can cast him, and this lets us do that. Like, I feel like if we can just resolve that, we probably get to win. So if you've got more cards, they sack a small thing and you can get it back. Meh. Meh, meh, meh. Meh, meh, meh. Meh, meh, meh. So we've got Tormenting Voice, which can enable some things. Ghoul Tree, which is okay. You can draw cards super slowly. Like, I may actually play that just to prevent us from ramping into nothing. Yeah, I'll take a Sundial. I'm not super thrilled about it. It's the biggest do nothing ever, but if we need to make sure we don't ramp into nothing, that's one way to do it. And because I've got 3 mana rocks and a Pilgrim's Eye, I can kind of play anything I want. The Savage Lands and the Crumbling Necropolis go a long way towards helping that too. Currently the Haven is not getting in. Yeah, that could be fun, but I think we're pretty far away from there. So we can sack him and get a black creature from our graveyard into our hand. I mean, it does give us some recursion with Thraxamundar, which is cute. Tajik was kind of cool. Corpse Churn is kind of interesting. I'm just going to take the tomb, though. Sorry if this is a little boring, but this is what I do in most cubes, is just take all the fixing. And then when there's, oh, this card can just win the game, I take that. Basilisk Collar could be fun. What do you do? Pumps your dudes. And brings back a dragon. I mean, that's kind of what you want for 7 mana. Remember Godo doing something. Oh yeah, you get another attack. Phage the Untouchable. I mean, that's cute, but it's not what we're doing. I'm going to take Primeval Bounty. It's another protection from ramping into nothing. We got a Tarka back, which is fine as a finisher. I think we're more interested in that than something to play on turn 3. Like, best dragon ever? Probably not, but he'll work. And it means we could consider playing the... if our fixing is good enough, which it's not necessarily there yet, but if it were to get there, we could consider playing the Haven of the Spirit Dragon, because it fixes for a Tarka and the Thunderbreak and potentially lets us rebuy them. Splinter Fright could have been fun. I don't think that's what we want to be doing here, though. Like, we're probably not having enough creatures to get Farika-y. I guess I'll still take it, but I don't think that she actually makes it in. Oh, these are not the duels we wanted to wheel. I guess I'll just hack the Sacred Foundry. I mean, it's possible we want white mana. And Scrubland means we've basically got it if we want it. I'll let you draw a card to cycle and then get Wooburg, which is interesting, but we've now enabled basically a free white splash if we want it. Spider spawning is not what we're doing. What does this do? Put a creature land. It just fills your graveyard. I mean, meh. I don't actually want any of this. Do not want. Like, maybe we want to keep this in case somebody's playing a weenie deck. I don't want Commune with the Gods, so sure. And I have played Corpse Churn before in Cube. Am I proud of that? Not particularly. But it is a thing I have done. Genesis Wave is something we can do with a lot of mana. There's also an Opulent Palace, which I'm very interested in. The Wolf and Owl is interesting. It makes you a lot of wolves. It sometimes makes you some birds, but we're not really, like, deep enough in there. Golgari Grave Troll can be kind of absurd. Marauder's fine. Like, I'm not ramping so hard that this is reasonable, am I? I kind of think I am, and the deck's mostly permanents anyway. Why would I not do this? I want to cast it for like 9 or 5, 6, 7. So if I can get to 10 mana, I win. Like, that's what this deck is looking to do. I'll take it and see if we can wheel the palace. That would be a pretty big pickup for us. Scab Ruinator. The Ruinator. He will ruinate you. You will be ruinated. This pack has a lot of stuff we want. I'm probably going to take Sylvan Ranger, which is pretty unexciting. But like Evolving Wilds goes a long way towards making the Blue Splash reasonable. Rakdos Carnarium we'd like. I'd probably play Colligan. Mizium Mortars can be good. Life from the Loam can be fun, but we just took a big payoff ramp card, and the deck is mostly permanents. Like Dregs of Sorrow and Burn Away and Vendetta are our only whiffs currently, because that's a permanent. Yeah, this kind of does the same thing as Evolving Wilds, but doesn't take up a land slot. That's fine. That's fine. It's going to be fine. Everything is fine. So we sack a Sylvan Ranger to Sidisi to go get Genesis Wave. I see how this works. You've got a plan, Travis. Mirari can actually be a pretty good finisher. Like, there's not a lot of flyers in this cube, and she can get out of hand relatively quickly. It's not exactly what this deck is looking for, because it kind of wants to play stuff here and then get to being able to play stuff here, but it's also really good to hit off of the Genesis Wave, because it can attack now and interact with our opponent and just get big. Plus, it's a cat. Like, I'm sort of interested in Jared. Subway Lich Lord. I'm really not interested here. I think I'm going to take Mirari. Like, I should be taking the Rot Farm or the Bayou, but I'm a monster. I am a monster. There's the original Kalidas. We can get some goats. Forced March can do a thing. That guy is really just a 5-mana 5/4, which is fine. There's another cat. There's Destroy Artifacts, which is usually pretty helpful. That's exceptionally narrow. I kind of just want to take some fixing here. Like, all of these things are okay, but this is where we can pick up some fixing. And without fetch lands, which either aren't in this cube or we haven't seen them, this is not very different from any other duels. Like, we're at 17 playables. I don't think I have to stress about them just yet. Kresh. I might be interested in that. This guy just makes tokens. That's pretty cool. What do you do? Here's the battlefield. I get 2 goblins. Whenever I cast a spell, I can tap creatures and copy it. That's cool. There's also a Zendikar Resurgent, which, if we're going to look to do things with big mana, like, it really wants more creatures in your deck. But what am I doing with all this mana? Travis, you have to have a really good reason to want this. We're going to destroy everything and draw all the cards. All right, if you guys have watched the stream at all, you know I love this card. I'm just going to take it, and we'll just take creatures from here. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. That is what we're doing. I have to take a creature here. I would like that. I would play this. Did I get enough blue duels? If I'm playing an island and I've got this and that and this to get it out, we ought to be fine. I'm going to take a Rex Sage. It's a May, but people play artifacts, so we'll be happy with this. It also combos with our Zendikar Resurgent. So I kind of want any creatures here. This is not really the creature I wanted. Yeah. There's a Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. We could take a Black Sun Zenith. It doesn't really seem like it's what we want to do. I'm going to take risks and be kind of not super happy about it. But I want to get our creature count up for the Resurgent. We get to make spirits super slowly and terribly. Like, we're probably getting to the end of this. Thunder, 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 dragon. That guy seems terrible. I could take a Night Howler. It's not going to be great because people aren't playing a lot of creatures here. Like, it's either the Honden, the Shrine, or this guy. I guess it's this guy. Just because we need some dudes. Has basically no synergy with anything we're doing. It's kind of terrible. We could place the DC if we have to, I guess. And not be super sad about it. Yeah, I think we can fit in both copies of Sidisi. The blue mana is not that hard for us to get. So if I'm playing that, I've probably got room to take something like this. Or I could just take the Grave Troll. That's not going to do much here. And neither is this, and that's going to be hard to cast. It does make a lot of stuff, but not being a creature on its own means it kind of sucks. I guess I auto-picked. That's what you get, Travis. Squeak could buy us a lot of time, but I think Colligan just kind of finishes out this deck. There we go. We got a deck. It's not white. That's what we're calling it. Not white, weird ramp stuff and things. This kind of looks about average in my experience for decks that are in this format. Jared's going to be hard to cast. Yeva's okay. Like, I could see cutting the Sidisi for it. Like, we don't even really have that many green creatures we want to flash in. I'm going to take Jared. I don't think we play it at the moment. Glissa I will take, though. Happily. Like, we don't need goats. We don't need, like, that. Like, I think we just play Glissa either... Oh, Imperious Perfect. Okay. Prefect. Perfect. I'm not sure how to say that, but that's way better than Riss. We don't want Riss in here. Let's just hack a Starfield of Nyx. And the Catacombs will remain sealed. So we've got Glissa, which I think is really good at popping artifacts, and it may be better enough at popping artifacts that we can just get rid of this Rex Sage. Because she kind of destroys all of them. She doesn't come into play and blow one up. But that's alright. And Imperious Perfect, like, we've got some other elves we're running. Like, here's one, there's one, there's one. It does a thing. And the fact that you can just poop out more elves if you don't have anything better to do with your mana seems good to me. Alright, so this deck has a plan. It's cast big mana spells and use our elves to get us there. Plus all of this derpy stuff. And then hopefully they're not playing black creatures, because if they're not, we can kill them. If they are, we have some trouble. And the Night Howler, again, isn't amazing, but it often does what we want to do. The only instant we have to combo with her is Burn Away, which kind of sucks, but I think we can deal with it. Alright, so here comes the fun part. We've got to make a mana base that can cast all of these things. So these are our red cards. The blue cards should be fixed by one island. With the Pilgrim's Eye, this guy searches a basic, right? Yep. And the Ranger is a forest. Nope, that's a basic too. So as long as we have green, we can probably get to anything else. The double red on this is going to be a little difficult. And that may make me want to rethink something like getting the Rex Sage in there. Because it's really good if you can cast it on turn 4, obviously. I still think I'm going to go with it because flyers are good. So for our lands, we've got Felwarstone, which will fix us for something. Savage Lands, which is Jund colors. The Tomb. I don't think we're running the Haven, even though it's cute. We've got the Summit here. We've got the Necropolis, which gives us a blue. And Barren Moor, which will just play over a swamp because value. So we're going to need one island, which is fine. This gives us 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green sources, which is not enough. We'll fix that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black sources. which doesn't look like that's probably where we need to be if we think we're going to cast Mirari. And 4, 5, 6, 7 red sources. Yeah, we're going to have to bump up the forests by 1 and get this Thunderbreak Regent out of here and just play something terrible. Or just... Here, let's look at it like this. Let's just move Thunderbreak Regent over here and make it a 5-drop. Is it worth playing then? Probably. We could also cut the Sidisi for something, but like Jared, he's going to be relatively easy to cast. And it can finish a game if we've got a big thing down out of nowhere. But I think I'm still going for the Zendikar Resurgent plan. This looks like an interesting pile of cards that we have here. Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but it's going to be fun. We'll see you for round 1 in just a minute.